Hello, Cancer, and welcome to your December 1st through 15th, roughly, tarot card reading. So let's dive right in. I've already shuffled and meditated on your sign, and I pulled a couple animal cards. And this is just to use these animal cards, just think of them as an overarching thematic energy to keep in mind as we move through the rest of the spread, and also to keep in mind over the next couple of weeks. So you have the earthworm and the camel. So let me read them from the book, and afterwards I'll give you my intuitive 2 cents. The earthworm. Shy, hesitant, reluctant to share inner vision. We have all felt the woes of the earthworm at some point along the way. The earthworm indicates a newbie or novice working to establish confidence in a new field. Others around you may seem wise and experienced, but it's important to remember they once felt earthworm energy too. This card is a reminder not to be intimidated or lose hope. Mastery takes time, and you're on the right track. Besides, rumor has it, beginner's mind offers the most valuable insights. When in balance, earnest, intelligent, valuable. When out of balance, self-conscious, apprehensive. To bring into balance, speak up, risk embarrassment. So there is this like putting yourself out there energy. There's this feeling that you're really looking to or already have started to step out of your comfort zone a little bit. And I feel for many of you, I'm looking in the realm of relationships, but this could also absolutely be very, very creative in how you express your creativity, and how you monetize on your creativity, in how you express yourself in the world. So there's this stepping outside of your comfort zone a little bit. All right, the camel. Resourceful, independent, knows oneself. The camel can handle absolutely anything, as it carries a wealth of nourishment within. This wondrous creature is self-reliant and handles challenge with ease. Even in the face of excess heat, judgment, or anger, the camel searches inside for the cool elixir of water to calm the situation. The camel represents the ultimate form of bringing opposites into balance, fire and water, and being responsible for one's own reactions. The camel is a wonderful traveler and is especially fond of trips to faraway lands. When in balance, calm, content, sparkle in the eye. When out of balance, dehydrated, lacks vitality. To bring into balance, a pilgrimage. So there is a really beautiful energy here for you. It's this new beginning, sort of feeling new, and all those sensations that come with that. But with this, you have the opportunity to look at this with just with wonder and curiosity and really fresh eyes. So whatever this is, it does feel like you're pushing your the limits of your comfort zone a bit. But the camel's coming in and saying, as you do so, know that whatever sensations you might be experiencing, the bottom line is that you have everything you need. So you are totally safe, and you're cared for, and everything you need you have inside of you. So I do also feel there's this very meditative energy with the camel coming forward. So as you're sort of approaching this new beginning, and this new beginning is looking to take more form, to take greater shape, and this process of I just heard humbly watching while it does so. So while things take shape, there's this allowing for you to be exactly where you are, which is at the beginning of something, and there's a lot of uncertainty that comes with that. But this camel is sort of, I feel, bringing a very meditative, acceptive nature to how you're approaching this. So it's beautiful. Okay, let's keep this in mind as we move through the rest of the spread. So at the focal point of the spread, 2 cards wanted to come out, and we have the Ace of Swords and the 6 of Swords. So I feel like I just heard departure and decision. Crossing that, we have the Ace of Wands. Wow, beautiful. Anchoring the spread, we have the 2 of Wands, heading right up into the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Swords. Interesting. So there's this splitting of priorities. There's two are coming to the forefront here. This splitting of priorities, this splitting of focus, this directing this ambition that you have into 2 particular directions. And watching them both take off is what I heard. So there's that's sort of the dream there is how do you nurture these, how do you work with these two avenues that I just heard, investigating, exploring, putting your energy and resources into. Okay, in the recent past, we have the Daughter of Swords reversed. And then heading into the near future, we have the 3 of Wands reversed. Crowning the spread, we have the 8 of Pentacles reversed. And then also representing your general energy, 2 cards wanted to come out. Very interesting. We have the 3 of Pentacles and we have the 3 of Swords, 2 3s. And I just heard finding alliance, finding alliance. Okay. But there's a sensitivity here as well. There's an entanglement factor that I feel you're conscious of. In your environment, we have the Justice card reversed. Okay. In Hopes and Fears, 2 more cards want to come out. We have the Mother of Pentacles and the 9 of Cups reversed. And then heading into mid-December, there were quite a few cards. There were 5 cards that wanted to come up. So first we have, interesting, we have the Son of Pentacles reversed, next to the Father of Wands reversed, next to the Daughter of Cups reversed, next to the Fool reversed, next to the High Priestess reversed. So, whoa, this is a bunch of characters. That is wild. That is so wild. So, like, mid-December, there are so many characters that you're around. So many different energies that you're working with, that you're looking at, that you're exploring. That's huge. Very exciting. Okay. And then the one card that I chose from Colette Baron Reid's A Good Tarot is the 4 of Earth. So I'll read that when we get there. So to start, we have the Ace of Swords and the 6 of Swords. So there does feel like there's a decision to be made. I just heard a plan of action. I just heard plan of attack. So there's this strategizing a bit. There's this looking forward and this wrapping your mind around it. I just heard wrapping your mind around something. And crossing that, we have the Ace of Wands. So I feel that this is there is this spark of creativity that's coming into how you're exploring and experiencing this time. So there's this new inspiration. There's this new light, I just heard. And anchoring the spread, we have the 2 of Wands. The 2 of Wands heading directly up into the Ace of Wands, the 6 of Swords, and the Ace of Swords. So like I said, there's almost these 2 interests that are somehow intersecting. And there's this question of how to balance them both. In the recent past, we have the Daughter of Swords reversed, and I feel that this is some sort of disappointment, and it could revolve around an air sign or maybe a fire sign, but there is this feeling of disappointment, of release, of letdown. And if it's not a character, it could just be a sense of dissatisfaction within your own environment, and that this lack of inspiration coming in is what it feels like. But now we quickly see that time is in the past, and this flood of or this spark even of inspiration is coming back into how you are experiencing your reality. That inspiration carries us from 1 to 3 to 3 of Wands, 3 of Wands reversed. So there is this expanding of your curiosity while simultaneously narrowing in of your curiosity. So there is something that is being that you are narrowing in on, that you're zeroing in on. And part of it has to do with that sense, that confidence in narrowing your focus is coming from experiential awareness that you're now, I just heard, reveling in. So there's something about that experiential awareness that is, and your intention around going from Ace of Wands to Three of Wands, so that process of building that experiential awareness that I heard you just know will make you feel more secure. And you're right about that to a degree, because crowning the spread, we have the Eight of Pentacles. So we see that stability, we see that integrity, we see that this spider like sitting at the center of this very, very strong, stable, well articulated, like, the architecture of it is strong, sitting there at the center of this web, and it's almost like has its eye on everything. So everything is in check. But with this in reverse, I do feel like there is this question, as much as everything seems to be in order, there's this question of some variable that you can't control, that is outside of your control. So there is some controlling tendencies coming up here a little bit, or just wanting to have everything in place, because there's something, just by the nature of whatever it is that you're exploring, is uncertain and a variable of some kind. So there's this prepping, and trying to get set up in a way that can stabilize you because of that unpredictable or unknown variable that is there. In your general energy, we have the Three of Pentacles and the Three of Swords. So it feels like there's this building of alliances and this building of your foundation and your stability and your security. We have this three takes us into another three and then another three. So there's this something about structure and stability and stabilizing. And also I feel like alliance, like some sort of, trying to find that like stability within your environment and within your relationships. But there's something confusing and confounding and perplexing about this process as well. That you feel it's a little bit tangled up for you. It's just a little confusing. How to manage what this structure should be, what it should look like, what it should feel like. And there's a lot of emphasis on what it should feel like. So I feel like whatever you're looking at, whatever you're exploring right now, there's this question of, okay, as things move to this and progress to this next level, as I know that they will, I just know that that's where they're heading. I just heard the natural behavior of what it is that I want, or what it is that I want to create and want to see for myself. What is, and how does that feel? It's okay. So what I mean is as you're looking at as you're exploring this experience, there's this evaluating what you're feeling, because there's this newness energy to what you're stepping into, and this vulnerability. There's this also this wondering about what feelings, what's right and what's wrong. Like, what should I be feeling right now? And is it in alignment with what I want to be feeling? And it's almost looking for these signs and signatures of stability. So in your environment, we have the Justice card reversed. And I feel that there is this, there's something unspoken is what I'm feeling, like an unspoken contract or something that you're working with right now is what it feels like. And that seems to be, and there's an interesting dynamic of how you are moving with another or with something else. Sort of, there's this awareness of rhythms, of a certain rhythm or certain patterns as you are co-creating in some way with something else, or working on something. It could be patterns within yourself as well, creative patterns or relational patterns. But there's something about cycles and rhythms that you're noticing in whatever dynamics you're experiencing and exploring within your environment. So in your hopes and fears, we have the Mother of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups reversed. So there's this feeling of putting all of your eggs in one basket and a fear around like, okay, how can I approach this? There's this feeling with the Mother of Pentacles of this desire for security and stability and to feel cared for and safe and stable. And the Pentacles energy, really, that's the most stable energy, this earth energy. And it's sort of this desire for stability, but there's this question of, okay, how can I part of that requires me putting a lot of myself into that to get that stability out of whatever this experience is. Part of it requires an investment on my part, an outpouring, a giving, and so there's a vulnerability to that of sort of putting all of your eggs in this one basket. But so there's this wondering of how to navigate that, and there's also this understanding, I feel, that ultimately at the end of the day, because this sense of security and inspiration and stability is so important to you right now, and we see that with the three, with all over, that although there's a hesitancy around this vulnerability, around this outpouring, around sort of this, there's an element of letting go and surrendering that you're being asked to do. But it feels that ultimately that is where you will go. That is ultimately what you will do, just because this card is so much heavier than this card, which is unusual because we have the 9 here, the 9 of Cups, the 9 of Water. So, but really between the two, I'm just noticing that this one weighs much more heavily. So ultimately, surrendering and this allowing for this to come through in whatever way it does, as vulnerable as that might be, is more worth it to you than not getting to this space of stability and security and inspiration. And growth, I just heard. Development, personal development. So heading into mid-December here, the Son of Pentacles, the Father of Wands, the Daughter of Cups, the Fool, and the High Priestess, all reversed. So there's lots of characters, and I can't help but think, because we're in the holiday season, that this could be just a lot of people coming together, and the first reading of it is just this communing, this coming together, this a lot of different energies coming together. But taking that apart a little bit more, looking at some other meanings of this, I feel that there is this, there almost is this, I feel that this is speaking to some sort of conversation, this potential conversation between two people that feels very heart to heart and head to head. So it's this, it feels like a serious talk. It feels like a talk that is important and meaningful to both parties. And it also feels like it's nurturing some sort of pre-existing connection that has existed between these two characters here. There's also, I feel that there's this greater sense of listening to this new spark of creative inspiration. There's this feeling of, and even in approaching sort of how you approach whatever this is that you're endeavoring about right now. I feel that you're paying mind to things that perhaps in the past you didn't pay as much mind to, but in a new, or if you did, it's just paying mind to them in a new way, allowing there to be a little bit more space for inspiration around your thoughts and beliefs in approaching whatever it is you're approaching right now. And the Daughter of Cups reversed and the Fool reversed and the High Priestess, I feel like we're looking at a tender energy here. And again, with the Fool and the Earthworm, we have this newness, this stepping into something new. And there's this sensitivity in how you're approaching it. There's this intuitive approach to how you are exploring. So the image that I'm getting is literally like arms out and your eyes closed. So there is this sense of moving forward, even if you can't quite see where you're going. And it's almost going back to that experiential awareness. It's like really going out there, It's really reaching for those experiences. So I feel that that's what this time is about right now for you. It's very, very exciting. It's this reaching for experience. And interesting, because the Four of Earth, I'll read this, but typically we have this, and this is a message for the entire reading and also looking at this, moving into mid-December. The Four of Earth can sometimes be a card that represents holding on to things too tightly. So there is this call to release. There's this call to take those leaps of faith. And if there is any constrictive feelings that may come up for you, just lovingly recognize that when anyone is starting something new and sort of pushing the boundaries for themselves a little bit, is sort of stepping out of their comfort zone a little bit, that constriction, it will happen, but it doesn't need to mean anything. You can just simply let it go compassionately. It doesn't have to inform. It's just fear from the past informing the present moment, but it has absolutely nothing to do with the future. That's what so really lovingly release that constriction and let yourself open in a new way. I'll read this from the book to get another perspective. Ownership, the beauty of divine order, trusting in a solid foundation. Yes, so that's so true. There's that trusting in that solid foundation, and we have that here, and we have that here, we have that here, we have that here. So it's trusting your foundation so you can push those limits a little bit more. So trust in that foundation. Even if I feel shaken up and am unable to understand why things happen as they do, I know for certain that divine order manifests in all aspects of my life. What I have built rests on a solid foundation, so there is no need to fear. While it is true that nothing is permanent in the material world, I find security in the existence of a divine plan. Spirit is always there to remind me that I am exactly where I am meant to be, for my highest good and the highest good of all, and that I always have abundance available to me. So this is so beautiful. So I feel like that really says it all. And the last thing I will say is just because this energy is so strong for all of us, is really open up and follow those synchronicities. Open your heart to the synchronicities and follow them. All right, I love you so much, and I hope that this was helpful. Please like, comment, subscribe. That always means so much to me. And check out if this is your sun sign, check out your rising or moon sign so you can piece together a more holistic reading for yourself. And that is it. And I love you so much, and have a beautiful day.